Welcome back to TMZ Sports. I am your host, Mojo Muhtadi. Extra hype today because we are joined by a very, very special guest and a legend. Welcome to the show, WWE Hall of Famer, DDP Diamond Dallas Page. Page, how are we doing today, sir?
Dude, I never had a bad day in my life. Plenty of sore ones, but no bad ones.
Look, where are we coming at from? The DDP Performance Center over there? Well,
Yeah, the DDP. This is our DDP Yoga Performance Center. So we film all the stuff for our app. Anybody wants to go to DDP Yoga and check out the app, go to ddpyoga.com. And right now we're running a sale. Just hope I figured that out. 20% off on our app, 7 days free. So let's get that out of the way.
Well, everyone should absolutely check that out. As you know, I have been a patron of DDP Yoga for about a decade now. My DDP Yoga mat goes with me everywhere. So everyone should absolutely check this out. But hey, I want to dive right in and get started because next Sunday, March 17th, hey, we got the premiere of Biography, WWE Legends, and that is an episode only about you and your life and your career. Tell us about that. What can we expect from the show? Because the fans are going nuts about this one.
You know, I think it's a great series of people who came into this. Starting with Randy and then Scott Hall last night, and now me coming in up on the third. I'm excited about it because I think they did a really great job about it. They really went back into my childhood and somehow fit it all in, right on up to what I'm doing now. And the really big highlights of my career, are all in there. And you've got guys like, Eric Bischoff talking about stuff and Kevin Nash, the guys who were there with me at the time. So, I think people will really dig it. It's super, as you can imagine, it's super positive. It's got some really great twists in what we're doing today,
Can we expect to see any never before seen content in there? I mean, you just mentioned it. You had an unbelievable career. I mean, you are a wrestler that has really taken to the mainstream. Everyone knows who you are, even if they don't necessarily watch wrestling. But just the come up story, your very long career, and all the unbelievable things that you've been doing afterwards, dare I say, have been, even more impressive than your in-ring career, which is kind of crazy to say. Is there anything that fans haven't seen that this will give them a good insider's look at?
I think so because, when I started this whole thing, I tried to wrestle when I was 23. It didn't work out for me. I hurt my knee and got a chance to run a little rock and roll joint. And the booze, the bras, and the party took me in a different direction. And later on, I would come back because the WrestleMania was so hot and everything. And Jake Roberts walked in my club. And they get to see what happened kind of after that. There's pictures of Ted DiBiase and the Bushwhackers. They put all that stuff. And the guys would, if you worked Miami and then you worked Miami and Tampa, that's 300 miles. You've done that loop. I mean, that's a long ride. In the middle was Fort Myers, right? A club called Norma Jean's Dance Club. And we have footage that no one's ever seen before that's going to be up there from when I literally developed Diamond Dallas Page. And it was to come in as a manager originally because I thought at 31 I was too old to be a wrestler. But it was really the boys coming in there and really making me miss, like I screwed up. I should have stuck with my goals. And I ended up getting to them at 35 as a wrestler. But you see that journey, man, like it never should have happened. I mean, it really never should have happened. I know I'm the anomaly, something that happened that wasn't supposed to. And I think people will find inspiration in all that. Just like me and you talked, about 2 weeks ago when Butterbean's video took off, and like on my TikTok, it's got over 7 million views. On Facebook, it's on Instagram. But watching Butterbean come into my crib, what I call the accountability crib, where Jake and Scott, and if you guys have never seen The Resurrection of Jake the Snake, it's up on Amazon Prime. But when you look at Butterbean coming in with those canes, and he can't straighten up, and he's over 400 pounds, and he thinks it's impossible to be helped, but he'll try anything. So he literally gave me and my crew the keys to drive, and Butterbean now is looking for one last fight. Which, if you haven't seen the video, go to Diamond Dallas page on TikTok or Facebook. It's all over the place, and people are sharing it all the way around.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about too. I mean, look, you just talked about it when you got started. There was so many people there to help you get jump started, to show you the ropes and coach you up. Now you fast forward a little bit, you're doing the same thing for people in life after wrestling, probably when they've needed it more than ever. I mean, guys that were legends, Hall of Famers, some of the biggest names in the business that maybe couldn't stand up straight, that can't get out of bed because they're in that much pain, and they give you a call because everything you've been able to do with DDP Yoga. Talk about that for a second, what that's meant to you, but also just as a question, I mean, we're talking about some people that have accomplished a lot of success here. Has it been hard to kind of break them out of their routines that they've been in for a while and get them jump started?
It can be sometimes, but most times they've given up hope. Like, this is where I am. This is the pain I'm in. It's just going to have to be like this because this is what I did to my body. But it's not true. And I proved it over and over again. Like, Jake would be the best example because it just didn't help him with his body, and to get moving again, it helped him with his sobriety. And I helped him get sober. And I'm not a sober dude. Like, I mean, meaning that I don't have the credentials to do that. I just know how to help guys who have been beat up and broken down like us as they get into their 50s and 60s. And that's where it makes a real difference. And that's why my program has been around for 13 years. And it took 8 years to be an overnight success. But the last 13 years, DDP Yoga has just been blowing up, and it's been amazing to watch because of the people that I've been able to help. Whether it was give Scott Hall another 10 years on his life, give Jake still going at 69. He's going to be 70 in another couple of months, and he's still on the road and he's still doing his thing. And now with Butterbean and being able to help him, like I always tell people, especially around Christmas time, because a lot of people get depressed. I always tell them, help somebody. If you help somebody, you're going to feel really good about you. When I was 22 years old, I heard Zig Ziglar say, you can get whatever you want as long as you help enough people get what they want. And it became like part of my DNA. Like, there's a video out right now with Marcus Bagwell and Scotty Riggs. And when you see the transformation that these guys go through, and those two actually helped each other at one point because Marcus had gotten sober as well. And 6 months in, Riggs came into the crib. And at that point, he was going to kill himself. And Marcus had called on that day. And you got to see the story because it's just unbelievable how my business partner, Steve Yu, put the story together, in like 24 minutes, and what these two guys, helping each other, lift each other up. It's powerful, but it's not just the guys I just sent Charlotte Flair my power cuffs because she's coming off surgery, and an ACL tear. So I text her, I say, hey, Char, do you want the power cuffs? God, I'd love them because it's blood flow restriction. It really helps heal your body as well. But when Tommaso Ciampa broke his neck, when Ivar broke his neck, they're calling, texting me, can I come by after they release me? And a lot of the guys will come through, and I'm waiting for Raymond right now from, the other, I can't remember what his wrestling name is, but Raymond is Ivar's partner, and he had broke his neck. And these are guys who were doing my program too the whole time. Because whenever I go down to NXT, I work with the guys and the girls down there, and that's where they get the introductory to the program.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, hey, it's a laundry list of people you've helped in a laundry list of different ways. So everyone should absolutely go check out DDP and DDP Yoga. One last question before I let you go, my man. As one Hall of Famer to some other guys that are now becoming Hall of Famers, we saw Mike Rotunda, Barry Windham just
So
got
deserved.
announced. Mike
So deserved.
Rotunda being the guy that's got me into WWE actually from the start. Muhammad Ali today, of course, we've already seen Bull Nakano and Paul Heyman get in. Any advice, any congratulations for the new
Oh,
class as someone who's been there?
congratulations to all those guys because they all deserve it. I mean, Barry Windham, I got to see him when we were at the Rumble, and you know, all those guys, like those are the guys coming in who really understood. Mike Rotunda, I mean, you talk about ring psychology and bringing the reality to what we do, like him and Barry and Bull. She was a terror. I'm so glad she got in. And Heyman, without Paul Heyman, like he was in the AWA at the time, and I sent them this video of me wanting to be a manager with three guys who wanted to be wrestlers. And I sent it to them like they were wrestling already. And they called me up and, hey, we want to bring you and your guys in for a tryout, but we've got one question. No one's ever seen you guys before. Where are you working? And they're like, well, none of those guys can wrestle. And they're like, what? But don't call us, we'll call you. They pretty much hung up on me. But Paul Heyman was Paulie Dangerously at the time. He left the AWA and he went to NWA, which would become, Ted Turner would buy that and become WCW. So it left a spot for a young guy that could talk. And they called me back up and said, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity. Bring some of those hot girls you're with, the Diamond Dolls, and those crazy clothes you wear. We're going to give you an opportunity. If Paul Heyman does not leave there, that spot never opens up. So I have always been a Heyman guy, and I think he's one of the most brilliant cats in the business. He could have been in the Hall of Fame as soon as he finished ECW. I mean, the guy created something that was amazing. And him and Tommy Dreamer and the Dudleys and all those guys who really, RVD, all those guys who really made that TV, like when for wrestling, must see TV.
Well, I love it. Paige, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know you got a million things to do. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Famer, Diamond Dallas Page.
Bang!